is Papa and Silver.
Snap, handoff, Addison off the motion, 35-40, outside the numbers, 45-50, on the gas pedal, down the sideline, 15-10, push toward the pylon. He is, no signal yet. Daniel Thomas pushed him in. Touchdown. A late signal, but a fruitful one for Minnesota. Jet sweep to the stars, Jordan Addison. A 65-yard run, and Minnesota may have just sunk the Lions.
Avs have it down to single digits at 9, but they couldn't get it to 7. Curry working on his splash brother, got inside of him, and he goes to the left hand and banks it home.
If those two played a little one-on-one over the years.
Great balance for Golden State from its bench and starters. 61 points from the reserves, 62 by the starting 5. Shot clock down to 3. Melton for 3. That might be the dagger as DeAnthony Melton looks to the skies and to say, man, I've been trying to get that one to go. He was 0 for his last 15, and he finally got one.
Hey, Merry Christmas. This is not Greg or Greg. It's Carlos Ramirez with you today on a beautiful Friday morning. This is KNBR. I am Carlos Ramirez. I'm going live from inside Levi's Stadium because, yes, I live here. I have a room next to the locker rooms. Danny Dunn is with me. He's not here. He's in San Francisco. So for those of you who don't know, I have a bedroom here. I have accommodations inside Levi's Stadium for a day like today when I need to wake up bright and early and do the show from inside our Tasman studio. This is Greg and Greg with Carlos Ramirez. What a Christmas celebration we had yesterday. We had football. We had NBA. I'm old enough, Danny, to remember when the NBA ruled supreme on Christmas. Now the NFL has spilled over everything. Real estate is of the essence. So I was taught that real estate is everything about location, location, location. Now it's about schedule, schedule, schedule. And the NFL has the real estate battle won. Pretty much, I would say, since or from maybe July, or let's say August, right? August, when the preseason starts, up until February, with 1 month in between, and then the draft happens, and then they lay low. So we're talking, 8 months of the year, maybe? 8 months that belong to the NFL. That's one thing, Danny. But now the NBA used to once upon a time, Christmas belonged to the NBA. Not anymore. Do you remember that great scene, that great commercial with Steph and Durant and James Harden, and I think Chris Paul was there too, when they were just shooting basketballs and the netting had bells underneath, and they were just shooting to the tune of Jingle Bells, and every basket they made would compose the song for Jingle Bells. That's what the NBA had. Not anymore. To the point that five of the 6 teams that played yesterday, Cowboys, Commanders, Chiefs, Vikings, and the Lions, were either eliminated by the time that the game started or were eliminated by the time the game ended. Only the Broncos had something really significant to play for, and Detroit, but their window of success was really diminished. But now, it doesn't matter. My kids, so how do I know the NFL now has also, at least, if not overtaken Christmas, has at least given the NBA a fight for Christmas supremacy? Well, I have 2 girls. I'm the proud father of 2 daughters. And both of them woke up on Christmas morning wanting to, A, see what Santa brought them, see what Santa left under the tree. B, open the rest of their presents, which, the family gave them. And C, watch football. I'm not kidding. They wanted to see the halftime show, the Snoop Dogg halftime show, and everything attached to the football celebrations. But they wanted to see the Warriors because it's the Warriors, not because it's the NBA. So the 49ers were not involved in Christmas, and my two daughters, Danny, wanted to watch football on Christmas. So the first question I have for you, Danny, and the people joining me today, because I'm flying solo, that means, guess what? It is a sports phone / Greg and Greg edition here at KNBR until 10 a.m. in the morning. Has the NFL, Danny, become the Grinch? Did the NFL steal Christmas from the NBA or not?
Oh, I think without a doubt, Carlos. I don't even think it's close. When I was talking to family over the holidays here, they were mostly looking forward to the Netflix games, NFL games. They weren't even mentioning the basketball games to me.
Even so, which is wild because let me ask you, is anyone in your family a Warrior fan?
My father's a Warrior fan.
Okay.
But for the most part of my mom's side of the family, they don't really watch basketball. They're heavy Pittsburgh fans.
Okay.
So that they go Steelers, Pirates, and Penguins for the most part.
Which is significant because you're telling me. So wait. You're telling me your family that are Warriors fans. I'm guessing they watched the Warrior game, right?
Yeah. Warriors were on.
So they had no either gambling or emotional interest in the football games, yet they were more invested in the football games than the actual NBA games that were happening. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Wow. So I think it's fair to say that the NBA has relinquished Christmas supremacy, even though there were better, more significant games being played in the NBA because everyone involved has something to play for, whether it's, playoff jockeying positions or extending win streaks like the Dubs did. We'll get into the Dubs win over the Mavericks. But there were more important things happening except in the Lions game or, because they were eliminated and the Broncos fighting for the number 1 seed. But that Cowboy Commanders game meant nothing. There was nothing at stake, nothing beyond, bragging rights. Hey, we beat your team on Christmas. That's it. And there were more people invested in the NFL. What does that tell you? I want your take. 415-808-5627. The number is 415-808-5627. By the way, that's the Golden State Lumber and Texas Material text line, right? So, Carlos, someone asks, you're doing the Murph and Marcus show right now. I know. But my point is, I was supposed to do the show with Greg Papa. I should have been more clear, more specific. Pop, maybe will join us later. Maybe he won't. We don't know. He's getting ready for the game on Sunday. So I'm aware this is the Murph and Marcus window. I apologize for not mentioning it. So this is a combination of Greg and Murph and Marcus. It's a great Christmas present for you all on KNBR. The number, 415-808-5627. The Dubs won yesterday, but I wanted to start with that because it was not that long ago, Danny, that I woke up, opened the gifts under the Christmas tree. I would stay in my pajamas all day long and just watch basketball back to back to back. I would wake up early, watch the early game. I didn't care if it was Knicks and Bucks or Celtics and Sixers. I didn't care. I'm just sitting down, eating leftovers, and prepping myself up to just not do anything. I was going to be a slob, sitting on my couch, being happy with new stuff, new gifts, presents, a lot of food, and basketball. But now the NFL said, no, you're not. You're watching meaningless games, and you're going to like it. And guess what? I watched the Cowboy game, saw the Dubs, went to the Vikings, saw the Broncos, and went to bed. That's what I did. So the NBA, sorry to say this, you have lost Christmas. Is that fair, Danny?
Yeah, it's definitely fair. I'd say that my routine was almost exactly the same as yours yesterday. And just the NFL in general, to me, I mean, it has taken over Christmas. It almost felt like a repeat of Thanksgiving. Didn't it feel like a similar day to you?
It did. It was like Thanksgiving times 2, like a do-over. I felt like Groundhog Day, but with presents and pajamas and my kids around. That's wild. All right, let's take a break here on the show. When we come back, more Dubs talk. So what do we have today? The Warriors have won 3 in a row. It seems the kerfuffle between Draymond Green and Steve Kerr is in the rear-view mirror. Great win over Dallas, 3 in a row, their longest win streak of the season. Now they're going on the road. Toronto is up next. What does that mean? How do they come back to winning ways on the road? Or how do they stay, I should say, in winning ways in Canada? What do the 49ers need to do to beat Caleb and the Bears? Oh, we got a stack show too. And also, I'm on site. I'm on Levi's Stadium. This building will also host the FIFA World Cup next season. Are you at all psyched up about this? Do you even know who's playing here at Levi's? Are you rooting for Team USA? If so, prove it to me, fan base. Do you know who's in the group with Team USA? This is a massive year, 2026, for Bay Area sports. We have the Super Bowl on February 8th, the Pro Bowl that same week, and the FIFA World Cup coming to us. Our backyard will be the epicenter of sports next year. So what does that mean to you, the fans? We'll chime in. You know what? It's a mix and a matchup. It's Murph and Marcus, is Papa and Silver, and Sports Vote all wrapped up with a nice Christmas bow on the Sports Leader.
Time for traffic on the Sports Leader.
And now it's time for the Protect Your Assets Business and Technology Report with me, David Hollander.
This is Papa and Silver on KNBR, the sports leader.
Just focused on the details of what this team can do to win defensively, communicating, multiple efforts, and then offensively, just trying to get organized. You know, myself and Jimmy to play through the different styles, and we're trying to continue to get better with it. So just continue talking and collaborate in the locker room to figure out what we need to do.
And figure it out they did. This is KNBR. I am Carlos Ramirez going to you live from inside Levi Stadium where the 49ers will play the Bears this Sunday Night Football. That was Steph talking about that big 126-116 win over the Dallas Mavericks. They're now 10-4 at home, 16-15 for the season. They've won 3 in a row, and now they hit the road, Jack, to go over to the East Coast. Toronto is up next. So, you know, Christmas used to be a basketball day. Not anymore. But if you did spend part of your Christmas afternoon at Chase Center or even at home, you know, on the couch with family, with a plate of delicious leftovers and the Warriors on your TV or screening device, I think you felt it. Danny Dunn, Carlos Ramirez here with you today. To me, Danny, it wasn't just a win. To me, yesterday afternoon was a reminder for the fans, both here in the Bay Area and nationwide or nationally, that what the Golden State Warriors did, beating the Mavericks on Christmas Day, for a franchise that pretty much turned this holiday into their own personal showcase, it felt right. I felt like in some degree we were boarding the DeLorean and flying back in time or traveling back in time to the peak of Warrior basketball and Christmas showcasing with Steph and Clay. And, oh, wait, there he was. Different, wrong jersey, but there he was. But there was something about it that felt comfortable, familiar, like something just clicked back into place. Because Christmas basketball in this city, in this town, isn't just another game, or at least not to me. It's tradition. It's expectation. It's the league saying, here, this is one of the best teams we have out there, America. Enjoy it. Here's a Christmas basketball present from the Bay. And yesterday, the Warriors played like they remembered that. It was very comforting. Now, it wasn't perfect, because it never is, but I think it was purposeful. I saw edge. We saw urgency. There was an understanding of the moment. You could feel through the screen, or if you were at Chase, from the opening tip. And, you know, early on, the shots weren't falling like they wanted to. You could see some tightness. Understandable. Early tip-off. A couple of rushed possessions here and there. A few open looks that rimmed out. But for a second, you wondered, hey, is it going to be one of those games like they don't get their stuff together? But then the Warriors did what they have done for over a decade. They were connected. They defended. They trusted the pass, Danny. 33 assists for the Warriors, one shy of their season high. They trusted the Steve Kerr, Steph Curry, Draymond Green method of going about their business. And slowly the game turned. And enter Al Horford. That 4-for-4 span of him going 4-for-4 from beyond the arc was massive to turn the tides early in the game, give them the lead, and never turn back. That first quarter for me set the tone. The ball was moving, maybe even to a fault, side to side. The floor opened up. The defense forced Dallas into tougher looks, and suddenly Chase Center woke up. That building has a very specific hum when the Warriors get going. It's like a slow, low rumble that then turns into a roar. It's not quite Oracle, but it's got their own vibe. It's got its own soundtrack to it. And once that sound hits, it's unmistakable. And guess what? They still have Steph Curry. He still got it, man. At this point, it almost feels redundant to say it, but it still needs to be said. There's nobody, and I mean nobody, in the sport more comfortable at this stage in this day than number 30. Big game, bright lights, a holiday audience, all eyes on him. Steph doesn't shrink, ever. He gets sharper. He doesn't force it. He waits. He probes, draws defenders in like gravity, and then when the moment calls for it, when Dallas starts to feel like maybe, just maybe, they're hanging around, dagger, game over. That late three, Danny, that wasn't just a shot. That was a punctuation mark. Christmas is over. Dallas, thank you for showing up. What did you make of the game, Danny?
I thought it was a pretty great performance by the Warriors. I think that they're starting to finally find some consistency in that rotation.
Yep.
Like, it was nice to see that Brandon Pajemski and Moses Moody were hitting some timely shots. Because I feel like the better that they do, the more comfortable they are out on the court, the more steady the Warriors are, the more options they have out there. And Steph and Jimmy don't have to go into Superman mode all the time.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, I agree. So that three-pointer for me, going back to Steph, was him saying, this is our game. This is our building, our holiday. And to me, what stood out wasn't just the shot making. It's how Steph played within the flow of the game, and everyone was flowing around with him. He didn't need to hijack any possessions. He trusted his teammates. They trusted him. He let the game come to him. That's just greatness. That's a player who understands exactly who he is, what the game needs, and what he doesn't need to do anymore. The key part, and to your point, Danny, it wasn't a one-man 50-burger piece by Steph. It was very much a concerted, collaborative effort by everyone on the floor to make it meaningful. I saw balance from the Dubs. They got contributions up and down the lineup. Energy from the bench, smart minutes, guys stepping into the roles they were designed to play for and build around. There was purpose with Steve Kerr's rotations too. I saw discipline on the defensive side, collective understanding of why this game matters. And then the moment that, stopped everything, or at least from an emotional standpoint, and that's Klay Thompson back in the building. Still not in uniform gear, which is a shame. And if you've ever been around this team, if you've lived through the greatest era in Warrior basketball, to me, seeing Klay still hits you in the chest. It just does. Seeing Klay walk onto that floor with that green uniform, it's never not surreal. It's always weird. 13 years, man. 13 years. Championships, injuries, comebacks, Game 6 Klay, the boating, Rocco. just iconic. And now he's standing there, midcourt, and now Steph's got the clay shoes on. You know, I don't even know what to make of it. And you listen to the crowd, it's never awkward. They weren't quiet. They weren't confused. They still and will always have love for Clay. At 35, he's been out of here for a couple of years now. It's not the comeback game for Clay. But it's 4 championships. It's the iconic shots. It's 37 points in a quarter. It's one of the greatest shooters in NBA history. It's a career that will end with a statue outside of Chase Center. There'll be a Steph Curry statue, a Klay Thompson statue, and a Draymond Green statue. And then, Danny, what about that hug between Steph and Klay before the game? If that wasn't the story of the game before the game started, I don't know what it was.
Yeah, and heck, even them dapping each other up after the game, it was a pretty emotional feeling.
Yeah. The shoes. By the way, does anyone have, you might not know this, or you might know this, Danny. Danny done here with me today, Carlos Ramirez. Are there any props, any betting props on what company will get the rights to the next shoes deal for Steph Curry?
Ooh, I don't know if there are, but it'd be something cool.
Let's look it up.
Yeah. I'll try to find that during the break here.
Yeah, so far he's worn Nikes, I think. I think I saw him wear a couple of Kobe's, I think, or Nikes, which are Kobe's. I mean, every Kobe is a Nike. Not every Nike is a Kobe. I know that. But and last night he wore the Clays, the Antas. That's the Chinese brand that Clay's got to deal with. So he wore the Clays. Now, what does he do? I'm curious. What brand will sign Steph? I just watching him play with the Clays. I was just thinking about it, and being Christmas, that would have been an amazing Christmas present. The new Currys by who? Nike, Adidas, Antas, Reebok, Converse, and One. Is that even a brand yet? I don't even know. I'm fascinated by this thing. So back to the game. Once the ball went up, it was business, and the memory lane, the nostalgia was out the window, because emotional nights can also go sideways really fast, or afternoons. And I thought Steve Kerr did a great job in sinking in the team, getting them ready to play on Christmas with Clay on the floor, locked in. Defensively, they tightened the screws late. I think Dallas had stretches where they looked comfortable, where they found some rhythm. They tried to make a push, but every time Golden State answered. Stop here, a rebound there, smart foul, clean outlet pass. That's the part that should excite you if you're a Warrior fan. This team has lived in that space before. And now they have proven to themselves and to the league, even though Dallas isn't quite the elite team it should be with injuries, and you saw Anthony Davis go down again. You saw what they're capable of. They know how to win these games that feel heavy, that feel important. Games that have expectations attached to them. A game that asks, do you still have it? That was a question that the game provided yesterday. And the Warriors answered it in a clear demeanor. Now, let's zoom out for a second. The Warrior season has not been a straight line. It's been peaks and valleys. It's very much electrocardiogram. You see peak up, peak down. Great stretches with frustrating stretches. Nights where you walk away encouraged, and nights where you shake your head and like, what was that? But wins like yesterday's, at least to me, those are the ones that stabilize your heartbeat. Beep, 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 constant. That's what yesterday was to me. You don't need perfection in December. They reminded the locker room of who they were, the league that they're not going anywhere yet, and they reminded the fan base why belief still matters. You need identity. You need good habits. You need to know that when the moment gets big, your best players will be calm. Your role will be addressed, you'll be ready, and your defense will travel. And on Christmas Day, against a quality opponent with Cooper Flagg, who is a great young player. I mean, the Mavericks have their, I don't know if he's Luka, but he is their next Luka. He is their next building block. And I maybe I'm naive here, but does anyone still think that the league just went and said to the Mavericks, hey, you know what? Because of what Nico did for the Lakers, here you go. We're going to give you Cooper Flagg. Here you go. Here's a pick. You can go. You can have him. Thank you for that. I do. But hey, conspiracy theories are abundant everywhere. But it's a pretty good Christmas gift. The Warriors took this one 126-116. All right, I want to hear from you. The number, you can both call in or text. Same number, 415-808-5627. 415-808-5627. We got a ton of text messages on the other side. We're going to get to them. Also, John Lynch will join me at 9 a.m. 9, right, Danny?
Yes, that's correct. 9 a.m.
9 a.m. John Lynch live here on the show with me to talk about the Bears game, Christmas, and much more. Your text messages on the other side. Text 415-808-5627. You can also call in to that same number, 415-808-5627, 415-808-KNBR. Quick break. We'll be right back.
Papa and Silver. This is KNBR, the sports leader.
Did you notice the crowd's reaction to that moment at midcourt? It seemed to elicit some excitement.
Yeah, they don't miss a thing for sure, especially the Splash Bros out there. So, very sentimental moment. I'm sure. Anytime we're in the same, space, and Draymond included. So, that was cool for sure.
All right, the number 415-808-5627. This is KNBR. Murphy Marcus, Greg and Greg, Sports Phone, all jumbled together. We made a fruit salad with every show. We only need some dirty work, too, thrown in there. Danny Dunn with Carlos Ramirez today, joining you until 10 a.m. 9 a.m., John Lynch stops by. You know what I want to do? I'm going to give, Danny, the fans a Christmas present. I'm going to give them the opportunity to ask John Lynch. I'm going to make a mix and match here with Sports Phone and Murphy Marcus. And if you text your questions, make them good. If I think it's a bad question, it's out. I'm sorry. I get final say. I have editorial veto on the show. That's how it works. So, I'm going to have the 49er GM join me at 9 a.m. The best questions for him, I will ask him. And attach your name so he knows who's asking the question. And your real name, not like, hey, this is Pepe Le Pew. Or, hey, Mickey Mouse here. Come on now. Your true name. Because that's the way you can brag. You're going to have to record it. Set your phones, tape it, so you can brag over the weekend. Hey, I got to ask John Lynch a question on KNBR. So how do we do this? The number is 415-808-5627. 415-808-5627. Text your questions for John Lynch. The best ones will make it. If they suck, they're out. Sorry. All right, let's get to the questions here. We got some really good ones on the Golden State Lumber and Showroom text line here on the show. Let's begin with 8911. Carlos, good to hear you this morning. Happy holidays. Well, thank you. 49ers question for you. Here we go. Everyone keeps talking about how bad the defense is compared to other teams. But if the offense continues to roll like it has been, I feel like they can still beat anyone, even with mediocre performance from the defense. What's your take? See, that's a great question. I would ask John Lynch that question. I think they can beat anyone on a good offensive day. I really do. But they need to have everyone. It needs to be Juszczyk, McCaffrey, Kittle, Pearsall, Jennings out there with the offensive line doing their thing. And with Brock Purdy playing at both Tennessee and Indianapolis level. You can't make mistakes. You can't turn the ball over. You have to be efficient. He needs to be elite, peak performing Brock Purdy. They can put up 50. I'm not exaggerating. I don't think there's a defense in the league that can hang with them for 4 quarters and just shut them down. And because they've seen Houston, I think because they've seen so many good defenses so far this season, in Houston and the Rams and Seattle, think about it. They beat the Rams with Mac Jones and Kendrick Bourne and Christian McCaffrey with no Brock, no Kittle, no Pearsall, no one. I mean, from those dudes, there are persons, people. But because they did that, because week 1 they beat Seattle, and that defense now I think is better now than it was week 1, I think they can take down anyone. The question is, where is the game being played? Because I think that matters a lot. Conditions matter. I would feel much more comfortable with that offense going toe-to-toe against whether it's Philly or the Rams, whoever in the NFC, let alone the Super Bowl, if it's right here where I'm at right now, which is Levi Stadium, versus if they have to go and play in, I don't know, Green Bay or even SoFi, a.k.a. Levi South, or up at Lumen Field. I don't know. That's me. But again, I think I agree with 8911. I think the 49ers can beat anyone, even with a subpar defensive performance. I don't think this is the year where you just say defense wins championships. I'm going to go a step further, Danny. And I want your take, and also you, the fans. The text line, 415-808-5627. Remember, you can ask John Lynch your questions. He'll be with me. He'll join me at 9 a.m. If you ask him a great question, it'll make it on the air. What I saw from Denver last night, I'm confused. Either A, Sean Payton said, you know what? Let's play dumb. Let's dumb it down, be predictable. Let's not show anything exotic or flamboyant or that will give away anything we want to produce come playoff time. We know what they have, the Chiefs do. We know what they bring, or it can't, because no Patrick Mahomes, everyone's hurt, they're out of it. It's the send-off game for Travis Kelce. We'll talk about that later too, by the way. But I'm confused by Denver. Either A, Sean Payton dumbed it down, he toned it down and went basic with it, knowing that he needed, a basic effort from his team to win at Arrowhead. Or that's their current state, and the training wheels aren't quite off yet from Bo Nix. If that's the case, I bring that up to say that I think Denver might be a one and done in the playoffs. And if that's the case, that's the best defense out there with Houston. Then the 49ers' path to the 6th Lombardi, I think, becomes clear. Because that defense is a problem. But I think that offense also, if Sean Payton doesn't trust Bo Nix, and that's what we saw last night against the Chiefs, the Broncos, I don't trust. If it was the opposite, if it was, you know what, I know what you can do. Let's just tone it down, not make mistakes. Let's be basic, vanilla. We know we can beat them without having to bring their A game. Then that's a different situation. More on the Golden State Lumber and Showroom text line here. Let's go to 0497. Warriors statement Christmas Day win. Cook and Clay and the Mavs again. They're back. LFG. Do you know what LFG means, Danny, by any chance?
Let's flank and go.
I think so. I would think so. 3975 says, didn't watch one football game. Interesting. So the opening soliloquy or monologue in today's show was, has the NFL stolen Christmas from the NBA? Is the NFL the Grinch that stole Christmas from basketball? And 3975 seems to disagree. He says he didn't watch one single football game. Interesting.
Now, I'd be curious on a follow-up from 3975. Is that purely because he liked basketball over football, or is it some sort of like Netflix streaming thing?
Good question.
Yeah, I'd be curious to hear a follow-up on that.
That's a good. Maybe, you know what? It might be a combination of factors. One, he didn't have Netflix.
Yeah.
Or she. I don't know if it's a he or she. Maybe that person didn't have Netflix. That's one. Maybe they're just a diehard 49er fan, and they don't care what happens with the Cowboys and the Commanders and the Broncos and the Chiefs, because no game from last night had any incidents in the 49ers. None. Nothing. Nothing that happened influenced or had something to do with the 49ers. So maybe that was it. Or, like you said, Danny, maybe they're just diehard basketball fans, and they had no interest whatsoever on tuning in on Snoop Dogg's halftime show from Minnesota, which is another topic we'll get to later on the show. 2460, more text line. Warriors stick with their current lineup and have Draymond as the sixth man. Looked their best when he doesn't start this year. That's a hot take. I don't think we'll ever see Draymond Green not start or finish games with the Warriors. Unless, he signs like a final sending off kind of deal and he becomes just a rotational player, which I think he'll never agree to. I think he'll just rather retire and go into television, which is, I think, the next stage of his career. He's so good at it. I don't think we'll ever see Draymond Green become that. Is a six-man rotational player who doesn't start or end games for the Dubs. That's just my take. 8078 says, we're going through the text line, all right? Chef Curry in Golden State, statement to Clay and his squad. You're not coming to our house and getting a dub. Again, it was a statement win from Golden State. And what about Jimmy Buckets? We have to talk Jimmy Butler. 14 points, 9 assists, 9 rebounds. That's the kind of Jimmy Butler game that I can think, or that I think can propel the Dubs into the next version or best version of the team. Because a facilitating Jimmy Butler with a facilitating Draymond Green, and Jimmy won't shy away from buckets, hence the Jimmy Buckets nickname. But when you surround that core with Pods and GP2 and Moody and Horford, and they're making buckets, and Spencer and TJD, and they're scoring, who do you guard? Who do you defend? Because I can see them saying, you know what, let's double Steph and have the other dudes beat us. Well, fine, we'll beat you. But that means Jimmy playing point forward and Draymond playing point center and being facilitators first, but then the other dudes have to make the buckets. Is that doable? Yes. Sustainable? We'll see. Final text before we take a break here. This is Scott from New Jersey Turnpike. Wow, we're going coast to coast here, Danny. The most important question. Oh, this is for John Lynch. Okay. I'll save this for John Lynch. Sorry. We got a lot of questions here. This one is not for John Lynch. We're going to address it right now. Dub Nation loving seeing our boy Big Al Horford back and going off in his return over Dallas last night. And that is another major talking point about last night's game. On one end, Danny, we saw Anthony Davis go down again with an injury after just 11 minutes. 3 points. Are we at a point, is it already fair to say, Danny, and you know what, there's another question for the text line. Because we just saw the Mavericks, is the Luka Doncic Anthony Davis trade the worst in sports history?
Oh man, I almost thought that in real time. Just when everyone got the alert, I maybe you felt the same way. Is this a joke? Like, is this trade like for real? What's going on here?
I still think that the Russell Wilson trade to Denver is worse because of what Denver had to give away and what Russell produced, or didn't produce, I should say, for the Broncos. But This is up there, man. I mean, this is horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah, and like you said, though, the NBA did gift the Mavericks a little Cooper flag to kind of compensate.
Of course they did. Of course they did. So the Seahawks traded Wilson and a 2022 fourth-round pick to Denver for a 2022 first-round pick, 2022 second-round pick, 2022 fifth, a 2023 first, a 2023 second, and 3 players, Noah Fant, Shelby Harris, and Drew Lock. That is one bad trade. And you know what? This might be even worse. And did I just hear people mentioning, like, hey, you know what? The Dubs should trade for Anthony Davis. What?
No, steer clear.
Whoever said that had too many eggnog drinks. Spike the punch on Christmas. I don't want any part of Anthony Davis for Golden State. None.
Yeah, what is Charles Barkley's nickname for him? Street clothes?
Yeah. I don't want any part of him. None. Nothing. You can have him. I don't care what it takes. Kuminga, Draymond, no. Stay away. He is exactly the opposite of what the Dubs need. An aging, injury-prone piece. They have enough of those. All right. Quick break. It's 8. What time is it? I don't even know. 8 a.m. It's 7:57. Quick break here on the show. Remember, John Lynch will join the show at 9 a.m. live. The 49ers GM on the eve of the game against the Bears. So we're giving you, the fans, a Christmas present here on the show. I'm Santa. Here's your present. Text us your questions for John Lynch. 415-808-5627. Put your name on there, your name and where you're at. Like Joel in San Mateo, he's asking a question. Or John Sahersky from Millbrae. Or Joe Barry Carroll. No, that's the fiasco he's asking about. Sorry. My bad. Chuck in Marin. That's how you do it. Your questions, the best ones, go on the air live for John Lynch. This is your Christmas present from me to you. Quick break here. We'll be right back.
Now, from the O'Donnell Financial Group Sports Desk. Learn more at odfigroup.com. O'Donnell Financial Group, because planning is a process, not a product.
49ers are squaring off against the Bears on Sunday Night Football this week. How confident are you going into the game? You can let us know by weighing in on the YouTube chat or give us a call at 415-808-KNBR.
Papa and Silver now continues live from the KNBR Casino Matrix Progressive Jackpot Studios. Casino Matrix. Progressive jackpots are here. Where are you? Just drop in. Please play responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Really, thoughts on Kittle's availability this week?
He's got a chance, so we're not ruling him out.
You heard him. He's got a chance. Not ruling him out. Murphy Marcus, today with Carlos Ramirez and Danny Dunn, joining you live from Levi's Stadium. John Lynch will join us in 56 minutes. The 49ers GM will stop by to talk about this massive Sunday night football game, and you get to ask him questions. How? Well, that's a Christmas present for you. Text us at the 415-808-5627. That's the Golden State Lumber and Showroom text line. 415-808-5627. Please attach your name and where you're at, your location, so we can tell John Lynch who is exactly asking the questions. That is a gift from us to you. You can get to ask whatever you want. Please make it a good question. Make it a good one. And we'll ask the questions to John Lynch. How about that? Christmas, you can't get any better. 17:35. Let's switch gears and go to football. Josh Allen would have 7 touchdowns against the Niners at Levi's. Well, someone can see the future. I can't. Are you sure? Because I've seen Josh Allen make mistakes and have bad games. Not 2 years ago, this year. Exhibit A, the Dolphins game. I had him as my fantasy football quarterback, so I know. He's great. He's the best quarterback. I think he's the best quarterback in the AFC left standing. And might be the best, period, with Stafford left standing. Do I think he can come up and light the 49ers up? Sure, he can light up anyone. But he can also have a bad game because we have seen it. There's tape on it, right? All right. Let's switch gears. Let's go into football mode because we've got a massive game on Sunday night. It's one of those season-defining games. The kind you circle on the schedule when it comes out, and the kind that really tells you exactly what you are when the lights are the brightest. It's 49ers, it's Bears, it's Sunday night football. Prime time, baby. National stage. Everything is on the line. And I don't think that it's an exaggeration, even though they're both already in the playoffs, the number one seed is up for grabs. And I do think, some people think, and I respect it, that the 49ers, it doesn't matter if they have to go on the road or stay at home to make the Super Bowl. I do think that's possible, but I also firmly believe that their chances go significantly up if they don't have to travel. If they could just chill, bye week 1 on wild card weekend, divisional round at home, NFC Championship game at home, Super Bowl at home. That's just me. But because at this point of the season, games like the Sunday one just stop being about potential and they just become proof. You're not projecting anymore. No one is. You're not experimenting anything. You're showing the league and yourselves exactly who you are. And for the 49ers, this is a chance to make another statement. Now, let's go with the big picture, shall we? The 49ers are exactly where they want to be, playing meaningful football in the month of December with the playoffs clinched and implications that mean they control their own destiny. You win this game, control your path. You lose it, now you pray. Not for the playoffs, but for seeding. And that's the margin. And here's the opponent. The Chicago Bears is a team that no longer you can pencil in as a nice story or a rebuilding team. No. They're young, they're confident, and dangerous, especially at quarterback and run game. They're coming in right now believing that they belong on this stage. And belief, trust me, is a very powerful thing when you've got nothing to lose. And the Bears are playing with house money. It's Ben Johnson's first year. It's Caleb at his second year. Which brings us to the premier matchup. Brock Purdy versus Caleb. Two quarterbacks, two very different journeys, now under the same spotlight. And let's begin with Brock, shall we? I think at this point, Brock Purdy's story is no longer about where he was drafted. That chapter is very much closed. What matters now is how he handles moments like this. And he's done it time and time again. He understands what the job requires, what the moment needs. He plays within structure, gets the ball out in time, trusts the reads, doesn't flinch when the game speeds up. He gets bigger. And what stands out most to me is how he distributes the football. This offense isn't about one guy carrying the load. This isn't a Randy Moss show or a Justin Jefferson show or a Jamar Chase show. This is a 49ers show. It's about spacing, timing, rhythm. When Purdy's comfortable, everyone eats. No leftovers. When he's decisive, the entire offense hums. Exhibit A, the Colts game. But here's the key for Sunday, in my estimation, and it won't be easy. Chicago's defense is disciplined. Kevin Byard is a Pro Bowler for a reason at safety. They tackle well. They don't give you free yards. They force you to earn every drive. That means Purdy has to stay patient. No forcing throws into windows that aren't there. No chasing big plays just because the stage is big. This is a take what the defense gives you kind of night. Now, we flip it. We go to Caleb. The hype with him was, and still is, gigantic. Expectations, massive. And instead of shrinking this year, he has embraced it, even to a fault. What makes him dangerous isn't just his arm. It's his ability to create. He can extend plays. He can throw on awkward platforms. He can turn broken plays into first downs. And that's exactly the type of quarterback that stresses a defense like San Francisco's. Because the 49ers defense thrives now on discipline, on structure, on winning your assignment because they can rush. They cannot rush the quarterback, and that's a problem. So the challenge becomes, can you rush with control? The approach seems to be the same they took against Caleb Williams, Shedeur Sanders, and in the past against Jalen Hurts or Cam Ward. Can you rush with control? No Nick Bosa. No Fred Warner. The dudes in there have to compress the pocket and not lose contain. Because once Caleb breaks free, he can flip it at any point. And that's where the game can swing. If the 49ers can make him play on schedule, first read and then bail and become elusive, or I should say flimsy, they can win the game. When he begins freelancing awkwardly and extending plays to a point that is not beneficial, that's a problem for the Bears. All right, text line again. Let's go to some text messages. The number, 415-808-5627. 415-808-5627, the Golden State Lumber and Showroom text line. Remember, John Lynch will join us at 9 a.m. In 45 minutes, he'll stop by. You can ask whatever you want. Make it good. Make it good so we can ask the actual question. Let's see. Yo, it's 77-35. Yo, it's Chuck from Marin. The Niners' only real challenge in the playoffs is going to be the Rams. Whoever wins that game will win the Super Bowl. Do you agree? I don't. I don't agree. I don't think their only real challenge will be the Rams. The NFC is so... The NFL, in general, Danny, I don't know how you see this, but I think I've been covering the NFL. This is my 7th year in San Francisco, and I covered 2 years in San Diego. And I don't remember a season quite like this one, where every team, like maybe except for whoever wins or comes out of the NFC South, and maybe the Packers because of how injured they are, but I wouldn't be shocked if you give me any combination of the Super Bowl. If you tell me Chargers and Eagles, or Patriots and Rams, or Seahawks and Broncos, I wouldn't be shocked. I think any team, again, except for maybe whoever wins the NFC South, and maybe the Packers, because I'm starting to see something different with the Steelers and what they're doing, but I don't see a clear-cut favorite. So all that to say, I don't think the Rams are the only real challenge like 77-35 thinks. What do you think, Danny?
It's funny you mentioned the Eagles there first. I was going to say the Eagles. I was going to say let's not discount, the reigning Super Bowl champions, like I agree with you though that I've never seen it quite like this where it's like, usually when the playoffs start, you get one or two teams at the top, well, not necessarily in that order, but two teams where you're like, okay, these are probably the couple teams that are going to go. Whereas this year, it's like, you look at it, you go, I could see the Sam Darnold and the Seahawks making a run. I could see Chicago Bears winning a game or two. And then, heck, way down there, Niners and Rams, 5-6. I could see them going all the way to the championship game and playing themselves.
Yep. No, I'm with you. I don't think, again, Chuck from Marin asking, he says the Niners' only real challenge in the playoffs is going to be the Rams. I disagree.
It's going to be a battle.
Do you want to see the Seahawks for a third time? I don't think they care, the Niners, but that would be a challenge. And if that game's up in Lumen Field, even more so. Is Soldier Field a cakewalk? No. So I think there's more there. There's more landmines, let's put it that way, than any other. I just don't think it's the Rams and everyone else is just a bust. I don't think so. Really. We'll see. More on the text line. CRAM 7883. I'm filtering here live because we got a ton of messages for John Lynch. Your questions. Again, attach your name and location and your questions. I'll ask your questions to John Lynch. He'll be with us at 9 a.m. on the dot. 415-808-5627. You can also send me your questions. I'm not John Lynch, but you can ask me something. Like 7883, he says, C-Ram, 49ers need to ball out these two games. A bye week equals more healthy players. Yep. Absolutely. It's not just the home field advantage throughout and leading up to the Super Bowl, which is the ultimate home field advantage. It's that bye week. Can you imagine, Danny? Picture this, and you as well, faithful and fan base. If you're driving, don't do this. If you're home or working, please indulge me. Just close your eyes for a second here. Let's get mystical and imagine. Close your eyes. Picture divisional weekend. 49ers have a home game after another bye week. And here comes Fred Warner. Back with the team, healthy. Can you see it? Maybe it's the NFC Championship game. But that bye week could do wonders for the 49ers. Can you see it? Can you smell it? 54 coming out the tunnel with the dreads flying outside the helmet. Can you see it? I can. Every time I ask Matt Mayoko, the ultimate 49ers insider, is that a possibility? He goes, yep. And Matt's belief level, every time I ask him that question, keeps growing and growing and growing. You know what? That's a question for John Lynch. All right, 8:20 a.m. Quick break here on the show. When we come back, more of your text messages. John Lynch will stop by in 40 minutes. Text your questions at 415-808-5627. We will be right back.
Now, from the O'Donnell Financial Group Sports Desk. Learn more at odfigroup.com. O'Donnell Financial Group, because planning is a process, not a product.
49ers are squaring off against the Bears on Sunday Night Football this week. How confident are you going into the game? You can let us know by weighing in on the YouTube chat or give us a call at 415-808-KNBR.
And now it's time for the Protect Your Assets Business and Technology Report with me, David Hollander.
Now back to Greg Papa and Greg Silver on KNBR, the sports leader.
Now he throws to the near pylon, and it's caught by McCaffrey. Touchdown, 49ers. Touchdown.
I guess when you're such a precise play caller, just let one go and get it to Christian McCaffrey wide open out in the flat.
The 5th touchdown, a career high for Brock Purdy tonight.
All right, back with you, Carlos Ramirez with Danny Dunn. This is Murphy Marcus, Carlos Ramirez live inside Levi's Stadium. John Lynch will join us in 30 minutes. The 49ers GM will be with us live in exactly 30 minutes. You can ask the questions. You are the questions. You, the fans. You get to ask questions. How? Where? Easy. 415-808-5627. 415-808-5627. That's the text line. The best questions will be on the air. Please attach your name and your location so we can actually ask John Lynch with name and number where you're at. And your questions. 2215 on the Golden State Lumber and Showroom text line asks or says, Carlos, do you agree that the Bears game comes down to whether or not the 49ers can create some pass rush? It's Ian in San Rafael. No, I don't. I think the Bears want to run the football down your throat. They have the second best rushing offense in football. Their offensive line is stout. They got Drew Dahlman and Joe Thuney going to the Pro Bowl. Their center and guard. Their two running backs are really dangerous, Monangai and Swift. So I think if the 49ers were able to stop Jonathan Taylor, they could do the same trying to stop the run game for Chicago. And I understand that Caleb is not Phillip Rivers. And that leads to a different allocation of assets in terms of how you scheme it up to stop the run. Because, well, one is mobile, Caleb. The other is a 44-year-old statue in Rivers. So that means you need to worry less with Rivers about him breaking loose, breaking contain, and stretching plays versus Caleb, who can do the exact opposite. So, no, my short answer is no, Ian. I think the Bears game comes down to whether or not they can stop the run and have Caleb beat you. Because I think Ben Johnson built the team that way for a reason. Caleb needs to be upright, and they've done a great job of it. Tremendous. I mean, from 68 sacks to 23 in a season is remarkable. The turnaround has been tremendous for that offensive line. And they went the free agent way, which is smart, because that's the quickest way you can do it. You're not going to do that with 3 players off the draft. You just don't. It doesn't happen. Like, there are no Joe Thuney's and Drew Dahlmans in the draft. There might be in a couple of years, but not from one year to the other. So that's what they did. Right? That's what they did. 3008 asks, do you think we'll get a piece for Brandon Ayuk? No, I don't. Quick one. All right. More on this game. 11-4 versus 11-4 at Levi Stadium. And just so you know, whoever loses the game on Sunday cannot be the number one seed. That's a mathematical fact. Whoever wins is still in the race. Whoever loses can no longer secure a number one seed. That's leverage. That's controlling your own destiny. So, let's begin with a different question now. Which team is real and which team is just really early? Because to me, that makes this game really fascinating. Both franchises are coming off from the same place. Last season, they were both dead last in their divisions. Combined wins, 11. San Francisco, 6-11. The Bears, 5-12. Now, they're both 11-4. Both playoff bound, both controlling paths to division titles and the potential number one seed. So that kind of turnaround just doesn't happen by accident. So how do we get here? Let's begin with Chicago. Is this the arrival of the Bears or just the beginning of the Ben Johnson era? Well, they're in the playoffs for the first time since 2020. They've already doubled last year's total win total. And under Ben Johnson, they've done the most dangerous thing possible. They don't panic. How do I know that? Well, check this out. You know I love my stats. The Bears are 7-2 in one-score games. And they have pulled off 6 fourth-quarter comebacks. I repeat, this 2025 version of the Bears has pulled off 6 fourth-quarter comebacks. That's the most in the NFL this season. Think about that. 6 times this year, the Bears have been trailing in the final 2 minutes of the game and won that game. So the real question for Sunday becomes, how do you beat, if you're the 49ers, how do you beat a team that doesn't think it's ever out of the game? And that question points to Caleb Williams. Is he already a problem for the entire NFC? Number 1 pick, second season. The Bears call him the Iceman. The Iceman. Because when the game tightens, he doesn't. Williams, this season, has led 6 game-winning drives, including that OT walk-off against Green Bay last week. And here's the part that really matters against San Francisco. Like I said, Chicago rebuilt their offensive line. Last season, Caleb was sacked 68 times. This season, 23 in 15 games. That's not an improvement. That's a complete rebuild. So, can the 49ers generate pressure without Nick Bosa? Somehow, San Francisco's defense has become or stayed competitive without him and Fred for the remainder of the season. No Bosa, no Warner. There's still a top half defense, winning games, forcing teams to earn everything. So if Caleb has time, if he can extend plays, if he can improvise, then he'll break your heart. Can the 49ers make Caleb play on schedule? Because if you do that, you got him. If you don't, he's shown what he can do. Now we go to Brock. Is Brock Purdy officially in the we trust him category? Well, the answer is absolutely. Definitively yes. Since he came back from injury week 11, Purdy has won 5 straight games. And the 49ers are averaging 34 points per game in that stretch. And here's the wild stat. They haven't punted in their last 2 games. No team in NFL history has gone 3 games in a row without a punt. Let me repeat that. The 49ers are trying to do something that's never been done before. No team in NFL history has gone 3 games, consecutive games, without a punt. That's execution, man. That's dominance. That's Kyle, like Brock said, being in his bag. Let's see if the Bears defense can create chaos or if Purdy can carve them up being patient. Patience is a key word for me in this game. Chicago's defense is not flashy in terms of yardage rankings, but they lead the NFL in interceptions and total takeaways. So you don't need to dominate. The 49ers don't need the Bears to dominate them. They just need one mistake. Purdy's challenge on Sunday for me is don't play hero ball. Be disciplined. Take the check down. Live for the next play. Don't give Chicago and Caleb short fields. Because here's the truth. This game, to me, will be decided by turnovers and red zone execution. Enter George Kittle. What's his status? How big of an option is he if he's healthy? And if he isn't, what's the alternative? Is Christian McCaffrey your go-to guy? Absolutely. So red zone execution, that's not a hype. That's not momentum. That's not vibes. Execution. And Christian McCaffrey has been key. He leads the team in carries, rushing yards, receptions, receiving yards, touchdowns. He's on pace for another historic season. Quick break here on the show. When we come back, getting closer to John Lynch joining the show, we have something we've called, Danny, the naughty and nice list. I think it's appropriate for Christmas, don't you think?
Absolutely.
When we come back, the nice list and the naughty list, sports edition, right here in Murph and Marcus. I'm Carlos Ramirez. We will be right back.
faithful. There's a party happening on our podcast page. Hear every interview from every show on demand at knbr.com/podcast. Now on with the show on the sports leader. Here's your host, Carlos Ramirez.
All right, Merry Christmas, everyone. This is Murphy Marcus. I'm not Murphy Marcus. I'm Carlos Ramirez. If you want the English pronunciation, Carlos Ramirez, I can do both. Which one sounds better? Which one do you prefer, Danny? Carlos Ramirez when I roll my R's, or Carlos Ramirez?
I think both work pretty good. I enjoyed your segment the other day with Todd Husak, where he's like, "Yeah, my name's just Todd."
Yeah, I'm with you. All right, this segment is called the Naughty and Nice List. I know. It's the holidays, and after an entire day of games across both the NFL and the NBA, it's time to hand out Christmas sports stockings. The good, the bad, and the cold. This is the Naughty and Nice List, Carlos Ramirez edition right here on KNBR. By the way, in 18 minutes, John Lynch will stop by, and your questions will be asked. How? Text him, 415-808-5627. 415-808-5627. Name, last name, and where you're at your location so we can ask John Lynch your questions. All right, here we go. Nice list. Let me see if you agree or disagree, Danny. We begin with Nikola Jokic on the nice list. Well, why? He put up a 56-point triple-double. 56, 16, and 15. To lead the Nuggets past the T-Wolves on an overtime thriller and became a record holder. It's the highest line in NBA Christmas history with 50-plus points, 50-plus rebounds, and 15-plus assists. That's not just a bucket. That's a holiday spectacle. Nikola Jokic on the nice list. What do you say, Danny? Agree or disagree?
I agree. Can you do more to earn yourself a spot on the nice list and put up a triple-double on Christmas Day?
That was incredible, man. I was glued to the television watching this man who does not look like a basketball player do things that no player has done before.
By the way, when they were showing the pictures of the younger versions of all the stars on Christmas Day,
yeah,
I will say Nikola Jokic looked like he was about 18 when he was 5.
Yeah, he does. Big dude. All right, who else is on the nice list? I think Cooper Flagg. Cooper Flagg, man. I know Dallas did lose to the Dubs, but rookie phenom Cooper Flagg scored 27 points, grabbed 6 boards, 5 assists, shooting very efficiently, making history as one of the youngest players ever to score 25-plus on Christmas. Playmaking, scoring, that's a nice rookie Christmas for a Mavericks fan and a gift. Cooper Flagg is on the nice list. Danny, agree or disagree?
I agree, and it's a shame that Anthony Davis went down early because I feel like we could have gotten a real battle down the stretch there had AD stayed on the court, and maybe Cooper Flagg maybe has a heroic moment. I mean, I wouldn't have loved to see that, but you like to see a good game.
Yep, I agree. We're doing the naughty and nice list here, Sports Edition, this morning. Number 3 on the nice list, it's the Houston Rockets offense, Danny. Let's go to the other coast, West Coast, our coast. The Rockets dominated the Lakers, 119-96. Paced by who? You know who he is. You know his name. Kevin Durant, 26. Amen Thompson, 25. Balanced attack, blew the game open in the third quarter. Efficient, explosive performance. Rockets offense on the nice list. Danny, your verdict. You know who he is.
Love the choice, Carlos. You got to watch out for these Houston Rockets, man.
I know, man.
They're only going to get better as the season goes on. Even though KD's not exactly thrilled sometimes with Şengün's crunch time performances, but
yeah, I agree. All right, fourth and final member of the nice list before we go to the naughty list. The New York Knicks, the comeback Hearts, down 17 points in the fourth quarter, Danny. 17. And here come the Knicks, man. Storming back to beat the Cavs 126-124 behind 34 points from Jalen Brunson. Clutch, late threes from Tyler Kolek. Comeback resilience on Christmas equals holiday spirit. The Knicks fight on the nice list. Agree or disagree, Danny?
Agree, and it seems like it's shaping up to be a two-horse race in the Eastern Conference with the Detroit Pistons and the New York Knicks. If they don't get it done this year, they might have missed their window, you know?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, the nice list. Nikola Jokic, Cooper Flag, Rockets offense, and the Knicks comeback. Let's go to the naughty list, shall we? You mentioned him, Danny. Anthony Davis.
Uh-oh.
Early exit due to injury. He left the game early. Groin injury, did not return. 3 points, 3 rebounds, 2 blocks, 11 minutes. Real concern for the Mavs. That trade looks naughtier by the second. Injury luck sucks, but it's hard to put this in a stocking. This is cold for me. Naughty list, Danny. Anthony Davis going into the naughty list. Yes or no?
Ooh, you know, it's kind of tough to put a guy on the naughty list for getting injured, but, you know, I guess I'll agree with you on that one.
Yep. Yep.
I mean, if you want to go retroactive, you know, you can go Nico Collins for making the trade to begin with, throwing him in the naughty list.
I guess so. But you know what? He goes, it's my segment. He goes on the list. Period. More on the naughty list. The Lakers' defense on Christmas made me want to throw up my leftovers. 119-96 loss to the Rockets. The Lakers stars, Danny, combined for a minus 58 plus minus.
Ooh, that's not good.
No, it's naughty. The team got beaten decisively in the third quarter. The defense was putrid. Again, D, I would say F on the report card. The Lakers defense goes right to the naughty list. What do you say?
I say yes, absolutely. And hey, we got 3 minutes of Bronny James out of it.
Oh, my God. Who else? 2 more to go. The Mavericks defense slippage. They gave up 126 points on Christmas and couldn't hold a holiday lead despite flashes of both Cooper Flag and Williams. Perimeter defense got exposed. Not what you want to serve on a platter on Christmas. The Mavericks D, also like the Lakers, naughty list.
All right, the Mavericks doubling up on your naughty list. I like it.
Yeah, Anthony Davis and the defense. They were really bad. And the final one, the Commanders' offense on NFL Christmas Day, horrendous. They dropped a 30-23 game to the Cowboys. They're 4-12 on the season. I understand. Jaden Daniels hurt. I get it. Struggling to sustain drives late. Washington kind of kept it competitive, but the turnovers and the missed opportunities, just horrible. The Commanders go on the naughty list.
You know, I don't necessarily disagree with that, but okay. If it was me, I probably would have just thrown that entire Minnesota-Detroit game in the naughty list. That was a tough watch at times.
Okay, I got some questions.
Yeah.
These, I didn't know if they were naughty or what to make of this. I think the NFL has a halftime show issue.
Yeah.
I think we are, there's an abundance. There's too many halftime shows going on here. I only need one, and that's the Super Bowl. I don't need, Thanksgiving in Dallas with Dolly Parton. I don't need Snoop Dogg on Netflix. No. I need one. Give me one. Give me Super Bowl, halftime show, whoever that is. Bad Bunny, Katy Perry, The Stones, Prince, whoever. Give me one. Not every holiday show or game needs a halftime show. Brazil game had Becky G. No. I need one. Give me one. Am I overreacting here, Danny?
No, I think that's a fair point. It's a nice little treat for, I guess, the people that are at the stadium. But yeah, for me at home, it doesn't do a whole lot for me. The halftime is when I get up to, use the restroom or maybe make a snack or something. I don't need to be glued to the screen watching a concert that's kind of half-assed.
Yeah. So would you get rid of every single one of those I mentioned, or would you keep any of them?
You know what? For like a special event, I like the Brazil game or something. Like I might keep it, but for the Christmas Day, you know what? I don't know, because I actually do enjoy a couple of the concerts on Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
But I did not find myself watching the Snoop Dogg one yesterday.
Yeah, no, I bailed on it.
Mm-hmm.
I bailed on it. All right, so that was the naughty and nice list, sports edition here on Murphy Marquez with Carlos Ramirez and Danny Dunn. Let's take a break. You know what? Let's go to the text line. A couple messages before we head out, because John Lynch will join us in a few. And remember, you get to ask the questions for John Lynch today. That is my present for you, the fans. You get to ask questions for John Lynch. The best ones will get on the air. Please, your name, last name, and location, so we know who you are and what questions you're asking to John Lynch. Let's go to the Golden State Lumber and Showroom text line right now. Some questions that are not for John Lynch. 3434 text. Becky G looking nice, though. You got to admit, right, Carlos? Yes. Very beautiful woman. Very talented woman. No issue with Becky G or Carol G or any G. I have no problems. I think she's really talented, really beautiful, and yeah, no issues. No issues. Let's see. Feels played. 4498 says feels played out, but you're overreacting. Overreacting to what? I wonder. Is it the halftime shows, Danny? Am I overreacting to the halftime shows? 4498 thinks seems to believe that I am overreacting.
I don't know. You have a strong take about it. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
You know what? It at some point, then what do we do? Or just does every game get a halftime show now? I mean, every game kind of has one, but like it's either a celebrity sighting or a Hall of Fame induction for a team or kids running around, like that kind of show.
Yeah, like I said earlier, it's more like for the fans more than let's say like you sitting at home,
Yeah, I don't know. I just think one of the things that makes the Super Bowl special is we get a halftime show, and if I get it on Thanksgiving and Christmas and Brazil and Germany and what's the point? I want football. And I only want a show on the Super Bowl. That's me. 1735. The Warriors are the 2022 Giants. Dynasty over, but not willing to rebuild. Well, Steve Kerr did admit and use the phrase, we are a fading dynasty. So maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. All right, let's take a quick break here. When we come back, John Lynch live joins the show. You ask the questions. We have a ton of them. Great ones, by the way. All of them. When we come back, we will ask your questions for John Lynch. This is Murphy Marquez. I am Carlos Ramirez with Danny Dunn. Don't go anywhere. On the other side, John Lynch live joins the show.
Time for traffic on the Sports Leader. Faithful. There's a party happening on our podcast page. Hear every interview from every show on demand at knbr.com/podcast. Now on with the show on the sports leader.
Rivers out of the shotgun, takes the snap. Quick throw over the middle, intercepted. D. Winters has got it. D. Winters going the other way. Winters to the 40, the 25-30. No one's going to touch him. Nothing but the taillights. It's a pick six. 49ers.
Pick City, baby.
All right, we're back with you, and it's 9 a.m. That means it is time for John Lynch, the 49ers GM, to join us here on the show. John Lynch, by the way, sponsored by River Islands. Come home to River Islands in Lathrop and discover the San Joaquin River lifestyle with its lakes, parks, and schools. Start your tour today at riverislands.com. John, it's Carlos Ramirez. Nice to have you. Merry Christmas.
Hey, Carlos, Merry belated Christmas. It's a tremendous time of the year, and it was great to be able to spend it with loved ones, and now here we are back at the office and getting ready to face a really good team in Chicago.
You know, I want to address, before we go into the Bears game, John, I began the show saying that I think the NFL has become the Grinch that stole Christmas from the NBA. Not that long ago, the NBA ruled supreme on Christmas. Not anymore. Do you agree?
Well, I think Charles Barkley has a way of summing things up pretty well, and I thought he did. And, you know, here's the other thing. I know Charles loves the NFL too, because I've talked. He's a texting pal, and he texts quite often about our games. He's actually a big Niners fan, and he likes football. I just don't think he likes us taking their Christmas action, and he's not afraid to ever call anyone out. And it sounds like he called that shot yesterday.
He did. All right, John. So we did something fun today to mix it up with the fans, and because it's Christmas, we're giving them the opportunity to ask you the questions. We have some prepared as well, but we wanted to give the 49er faithful the floor. And they sent a ton of questions on the text line for you today. You have no idea how many questions. So I'm going to begin with Fitz in Santa Cruz Mountains. He's asking you, John, is it safe to say that Brock is playing the best football of his career? What do you say?
Well, Fitz, thanks for the question. He's playing at a really high level, I can tell you that. You know, the hard thing with Brock is he's pretty much done that since he's been our starter here. He's played at a really high level. But I think all things considered, I'd say yes. I believe this streak we're on right now with efficiency, with playmaking, playing within the pocket, being able to extend and make plays down the field when he breaks the pocket. He's kind of got it all going on right now, and it's really fun to watch. So my answer would be yes, and that's a high standard because he's always been pretty good since he's become our starter.
Yeah, I agree. Let's go to Jeff in San Jose, John. He wants to ask you, he says, checking in, not a question but a statement. He says, you and Kyle have done a phenomenal job with everything that's happened this year. I believe you both respectfully deserve Coach of the Year and Executive of the Year. How do you do it? He asks.
Well, I work with a really great organization, and you know, I believe the best head coach in football. I really do, and I think he's put that on display this year. Kyle's been his X's and O's have always been really high level, and his leadership has as well. But I think that's even ascended another level. And I think, you know, those are the guys that are in front of the team each day. We're blessed with tremendous leaders in terms of our players, but the guy up in front of the team each day is the head coach. And Kyle's just done a tremendous job with the attitude. He never blinked. It's hard when you lose a Fred Warner, when you lose a Nick Bosa, when you lose a Mykal Williams, when you lose Brock Purdy early in the year, when the first game when you lose George Kittle. I mean, a lot has gone on this year, and he just never blinked. And you know, he held the standard even when other people went in and played, and the expectations were the same. So I think Kyle schematically has always been really good. I think he's been tremendous this year, and I believe he deserves that award. And find it hard to believe that he never has won it.
Which is a great. I'm going to pause the fan question for a second there, John, because John Lynch joining us live here on the show. I don't know what to make of the significance of the award, John, because a couple of days ago we were talking about this. Kyle hasn't won the award. Belichick won it 3 times. Kyle's dad never won the award too. Mike Tomlin has never won the award. So what does it really say about this? What does it mean?
I don't know what it means. I mean, I could tell you all those guys would prefer other things, winning championships, all those things, and have. But I do think all of those guys have been deserving at some point during their career. I know Kyle certainly has been, and I believe this year would be a tremendous year. So, we'll see where that goes. There's a lot of really good head coaches in this league. I don't think anyone's coached better than Kyle.
I agree with that. This is from Michael Catanzaro from Old Greenwich in Connecticut. John, we got a question from all over the country. He's asking you, my question for John Lynch, if the 49ers make it to the NFC Championship or the Super Bowl, is Fred Warner active? Is he in game to come back?
Well, here's what I would say first. We're really focused on the Bears right now, and that's because we need to continue to improve as a team. We need to continue to sharpen our edge and our as we get going into these playoffs, and we need to. Right now, we're playing for seeding and all that to try to make the path a little bit more favorable for us. So. But what I can tell you is Fred's been working incredibly hard. He's been attacking it in every which way, and he's making really good progress. I've said this consistently. It would be well ahead of the original timeline that we were given, but Fred is kind of even, has the ability to move the doctors because they're going to put, objective measurements out there where, hey, well, if you can reach these, you can get there, and Fred has continually done that. I think it's made a lot of people kind of re-examine, okay, would this be possible? And I think that's a great thing. So I'm watching him. I've consistently said it. I won't put anything past him, and I think it's a thing that will remain to be seen. But I know he's putting his heart and soul and his incredible work ethic to work every single day in an effort to do that.
John Lynch joining us here live on the show. From one injury to another one, this less significant. This is my question, not fans. George Kittle, that ankle injury, John, he's been a huge part of this team and this run this season. When a player like him is questionable, how do you guys evaluate the risk of putting him out there on a Sunday versus the long-term picture now that you're in the playoffs?
Well, I think that's always a part of the equation with all of our players, is particularly with a player like George, who's so valuable to us. Of course, you want George out there, and of course, this is a huge game against the Bears. He had it stacked up against him, in that it was a Monday night game on the eastern side of our country, so you're flying back. You're not getting back till 3:30. The clock is just shorter, the amount of time you have to get back on the field. I think the things we have going for us, it wasn't the dreaded high ankle sprain. It was a low ankle sprain. And George is recovering really well. Is he going to get there? We don't know. And this is, it's one of those things. He'll take it right up. George is the type of player that you probably give him that latitude where, hey, we'll give you all the way up to the game. The other thing that we feel really good about is that we're well equipped in the event where we don't have George. Will we be the same team? No, we're different with George out there. But Luke Farrell's a really good football player. We've seen what Jake Tonjes can do when George is out, and so Braden Willis would then be up. So we'll see where this thing goes. George is doing everything he can, just like Fred, to try to be out there for this Bears game, and that will be one that will go right down till Sunday evening.
This I found this is a funny one, John. Brian in Forestville. he says, after watching Phillip Rivers out there on Monday, how tough is it for you not to strap them on and go back out there and lay some wood on somebody? Be honest now.
Well, first of all, I'm 10 years older than Phillip Rivers. He's a great friend, but I'm 54, not 44. And I play a position where you got to move. I mean, Phillip, he stayed in that pocket, and God bless him. I mean, he was getting rid of that ball so quick, but he really he had me nervous going into that game, and then the game starts, and he was on he was on a heater, man. He was calling plays at the line of scrimmage. He was getting people wide open, and he was throwing the ball long. I mean, I don't care what pass rush you had, the ball was gone. So, it's incredible what he's been able to do. But no, I can tell you though, I think NFL players, retired NFL players all over this country are waking up each day and going, man, you think I could? I heard Steve Young, and I wouldn't put it past Steve Young. Steve keeps himself in great shape, but thing with Steve is Steve used to move around a little bit. Phillip never did, and so I don't think it's that much different for Phillip. And but he has a lot of people asking that question to themselves. I know that.
Yeah, absolutely. This game, let's focus on the game on Sunday, John, for a second here. Some people think the key is to stopping the run. I mean, what they've done with Swift and Monangai, it's tremendous. That offensive line rebuild has been phenomenal. Some people think it's containing Caleb Williams in the pocket, and some people think it's a combination of both in terms of how the defense can stop the offense. Where do you see the key in that Bears offense, 49er defense matchup on Sunday?
Yeah, I think it's probably the latter. It's all of the above. Their run game is really good. It's extremely efficient. It's extremely physical. Swift is a tough runner, but probably has more breakaway type ability to his game. But Monangai, 7th-round pick, and man, they really hit on him. He runs hard. He runs physically. He carries the pile. They're really built to run the ball and run the ball well. I think the overwhelming thing with this team right now, Caleb is playing at a high level, making a lot of plays down the field. But when you are winning the turnover battle like they have all year long, I think that's the real key to this game. It's protecting the football, it's taking it away, and not allowing them to do that, because they've done it better than anybody in our league this season. And when you put those things together, I mean, they're 10-0 when they win the turnover margin. It speaks pretty clear. So that's a big challenge for us, and they're really good at winning it this year. So we've got to protect the football, and we've got to be able to take it away, and against a team who's done it better than anybody this season.
Absolutely. John Lynch with us live here on the show. Let's go back to the text line and some questions from the fans. They just keep pouring in, John. I mean, I can't keep track of how many questions fans are asking you today. This is George in Scotts Valley. He asks you, Brand Boyer has done a tremendous, outstanding job in every phase in her special teams. He says, I can't remember ever looking forward to a kickoff return this much to see what great field position we're going to get. The question is, all of those things have literally translated into victories. Are there other people, aside from Brand Boyer, you can credit on the coaching staff or the front offense for the great turnaround in special teams?
Oh, there's so many. I think, first of all, Brant's assistants, Colt Anderson came with Brant this offseason. Colt was a long-time special teams demon in the league when he played, and had been leading the Tennessee Titans and their special teams unit. And then Ronnie Blair, a familiar face and name. Ronnie played D-line for us, and we always thought Ronnie would be a tremendous coach, and got his shot and on the special team side with us, and Ronnie's doing a tremendous job. So I think that coaching staff in general, when you look at our staff in the personnel world, I think R.J. Gillen, Josh Williams, Tarek Ahmad, all those guys working along with our coaching staff to get the right personnel, and it's all been clicking. And you make a trade. We're injured at receiver, but we also see an opportunity to add a guy who's a dynamic kickoff returner, and the kickoff return is a much bigger part of our game with the dynamic kickoff. And Sky Moore has been a godsend for us. He, you could see right from the start, it didn't translate right away, but every kick you felt like, man, he's on the cusp of busting this one because he hits it so aggressively.
Yeah.
Because he has the strength, he has the will. It's been a really a team effort, and we got to keep that going into the playoffs, and most importantly, this weekend against the Bears.
Absolutely. This is a great question because we actually got two fans texting the exact same question, so I'm going to just jumble them together. Ted from Jacksonville, Oregon asks, how do we keep, he says we, not me, how do we keep Robert Saleh in the 49er organization for a long time? And I'm guessing, John, everyone that sees you either in the supermarket or in a restaurant, I'm guessing this question gets asked to you pretty frequently.
Yeah, I can tell the fans this is we share that sentiment. However, there's a human nature to this whole deal, and Robert has big aspirations. He always has. I think, I don't want to speak for Robert, but I think he'll probably be more choosy this time in terms of where, not just going to go coach anywhere. He probably wants a really good situation because he has one here, and we're blessed to have Robert. But at some point, you got to understand that you have to allow people to go chase their dreams. Now, we can make it very attractive for him to stay, and we plan on doing that. But we're fortunate to have Robert. He does a tremendous job, and we're just going to enjoy the ride right now, and then we'll take care of that, when it presents itself.
Yeah. John Lynch joining us here on the show. A couple of more questions. The fans' questions are done. They sent a ton. Some of them were repeated, so we're just going to filter those out. Listen, this game is massive, John, on Sunday Night Football, and this team has been able to muster 6 fourth-quarter comebacks this season. And this quarterback, Caleb Williams, does not seem to blink late. When you see a team that does what they do, what does that tell you from the Bears?
They've got great belief in their entire team. I believe the stat I saw, right after their game ended last week was I think it's the only team since the 1970 merger or whatever that has overcome fourth quarter deficits inside of 2 minutes 6 times. It's like unheard of, and so that just tells you, every week we talk about it being a 60-minute game. Well, it never has it been more true. This is a team you have to finish. I mean, you're watching that game last week against the Packers, and it's like at one point they're under less than 1% chance, and they get an onside kick. Nobody, gets an onside kick in today's rules. Well, they got an onside kick. They go down, they launch one, and they next thing you know, they're winning. And so I think you gotta play for 60 minutes. You got to finish everything we do, and we go compete, and we're looking forward to doing that.
And then the final one, John, for you, and thank you for joining us again on today's show. What's the state of Thomas Morstead?
He's fresh. He's fresh and ready, and Morstead's been a tremendous addition too. People forget he's the one holding on all these kicks Eddie Pinheiro's making. But Thomas has been awesome, and he'll be ready. Hopefully we don't use him. I'd love it if we never punt again, but I think the reality that's probably slim and none. But it's been a fun ride here, and hopefully we keep that going a little longer and keep him fresh for the playoffs.
Did you know that if you go puntless again on Sunday, you would be the first team on NFL history to go 3 consecutive games without a punt?
I did not know that, but it sounds good. Sounds like a plan.
Is there some type of contract or a bonus for not doing your job if you're the punter?
Yeah, he's not going to give any money back. I can tell you that. But that's a good problem. Those are called champagne problems, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, John, thank you so much for the time. Merry Christmas. Merry belated Christmas. You're doing a great job. Love talking to you, and we'll see you Sunday. Keep up the good work, and hopefully we'll see George suit up for the Bears game, all right?
Thank you, Carlos, and all the fans. We need this place rocking Sunday night. It's a huge game, and we gotta show up and let the Bears hear us, and it should be a fun one.
And we got Papa coming back on Sunday.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. We've missed him. We love him, and he's been fighting the fight, and we're really happy and proud of him, and so happy to have him back. As I told him last week, get healthy at the right time for playoff time, and Papa, I'm sure, will be ready, and I'm sure he's eager.
Absolutely. John Lynch, the 49ers GM, joining us here on the show. Thank you, John. Let's take a quick break here on the show, and also as well, John is sponsored by River Islands. Come home to the River Islands in Lathrop and discover the San Joaquin River lifestyle, whether it's lakes, parks, and schools. Start your tour today at riverislands.com. That was phenomenal from John Lynch. Quick break. We'll be right back.
Now, from the O'Donnell Financial Group Sports Desk. Learn more at odfigroup.com. O'Donnell Financial Group, because planning is a process, not a product.
49ers are squaring off against the Bears on Sunday Night Football this week. How confident are you going into the game? You can let us know by weighing in on the YouTube chat or give us a call at 415-808-KNBR.
And now it's time for the Protect Your Assets Business and Technology Report with me, David Hollander.
Faithful, filter out the noise and kick it with KNBR on the gram for everything 49ers. Follow the sports leader on Instagram at KNBR. Here's your host, Carlos Ramirez.
All right, and we're back. And by the way, the John Lynch interview was sponsored by Friedman's Appliance, proudly serving all of Northern California with a wide selection of luxury appliances. Visit them in Pleasant Hill to see the Friedman's difference. That was tremendous by John Lynch, Danny. And I want to congratulate the fans for asking phenomenal questions. Just phenomenal questions for John Lynch. And I promise this, I'm going to go on campaign. I promise if I ever get to do that again, if I have the opportunity to host again with either John Lynch or some other prominent Bay Area GMs or front office or coaches or players, that it will be a common occurrence. I think in today's media, Danny, I think this is something we need more of. More fan integration, whether it's video, text messaging, questions. We are the conduct, and I understand we're the bridge that communicates the protagonists of the event, whether it's a player or a coach or, again, a GM, a president, an owner, the people we have access to. And we ask the questions, but sometimes fans, like we just showed, have great questions and great initiatives. And in the end, we are public servants. And for us to, I think we have a duty to you, the fans, whether you're Giants fans, Warriors, 49ers, Earthquakes, Sharks, Valkyries, Bay FC, any team, Stanford, Cal, any team, that if we have a chance to bring you closer to those protagonists, to those newsmakers, why not do it? And because I was a fan, I'm still a fan, but I used to be the ones who would call in. I was that guy who would text and call and would get mad on the other side of the radio because, dang it, why didn't this guy ask this question? Or if I could just ask so-and-so this question, I would feel, better. So that was my intent. I hope fans enjoyed it. I know John did. I sure did. What do you think, Danny?
Now, be honest, Carlos. I thought it was pretty cool, but to be honest, which questions did you actually save from them for yourself, as opposed to telling John Lynch that they were from fans?
None. I didn't steal. I'm not the Grinch. The only Grinch here is the NFL who stole Christmas from the NBA. I did not steal any proprietary or intellectual property from fans for this segment.
All right, that's good to hear.
I mean, you have you keep me honest. You have the same text line website in front of you, Danny. You did I steal any questions from them?
No, I don't think you did.
Some of the questions I didn't ask because either I didn't think they were appropriate or where,
Yeah.
Yeah,
you have to do, live filtering, so.
Yeah.
But, there was an outpour of questions from people.
Lot of questions.
The interview would still be going on if you were reading
yeah.
some of these questions.
Yeah, and John Lynch would be mad because he's got stuff to do. He's a busy man. And I do not want to upset a Hall of Fame safety who, even though he's 54, made a living out of kicking people's butt. I'm 42. I got no shot against John Lynch. No shot.
I did enjoy his answer when you said, John, could you still lace him up? He's like, well, there's a little bit more mobility going into the safety role as opposed to as a quarterback.
Phillip Rivers can hide behind an offensive line. There's no hiding if you're a safety. There's getting exposed, getting burned, or just getting your behind handed to you. You can't. There's no defensive line to hide behind if you're a safety, let alone a Hall of Fame caliber safety. Let's go back to the Golden State Lumber and Showroom text line. There's a lot of messages coming in. 7312. Carlos, really good to have you in covering for Murph and Marcus. Oh, thank you. I much prefer your style to any of the well, I don't want to do that. I've always enjoyed your work on the Giants pre- and post-game TV. Nice job this morning. Hope they have you do it more often. Well, thank you. This is George in Scotts Valley. Thank you. He asked the question, the Brant Boyer question. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. More on the text line, 8131. That was an incredible interview with John Lynch. Whoever's idea that was to leave it up to the fans is the man. Well, that's my idea. You know what? I never like to take credit for anything because I think it's a lack of humility. But you know what, Danny? I'll take credit for it because it was my idea. It was. And Mike Holder. He wasn't. I just want to give him credit because he's the boss. I just want to, suck up a bit for the boss. I think it's a smart thing to do. It was Mike Holder's idea to make this whole thing happen. Thank you so much for doing that. That was awesome. I think sometimes we, on the media, forget that we were fans. And I think it's very much, something that parents, I'm a parent now. I've been for the last 10 years. Sometimes parents forget what it's like to be a kid and the fears and questions and topics attached to that. And we lose touch and empathy with them, what they go through. And sometimes a kid just wants to play, and a parent might be tired from going to work, and he just, wants to crack open a cold one and watch a game or a movie, and there's your kid, and he just wants to be a kid and play. So I think the same thing goes for sports media. One thing that I always will fight for and advocate for is what's the word I'm looking for? Fan intervention. Fan appearance. Fan participation is the word I'm looking for. Because guess what? If the fan doesn't buy the ticket, if the fan doesn't turn on the radio, if the fans don't turn the TV on or stream or buy the hat or buy the jersey or buy the beer in the stadium or the hot dog or the ticket, if they don't do that, guess what? There's no sports. There isn't. So I'm very much on the driving the train or on the train, because I'm not the only one, of let's give the fans some power back, some windows, some spaces, real estate to be a part of the conversation. And I know you got Instagram and Twitter and Twitch and YouTube, and you can have your own thing. That's fine. But the one thing we still do, the media still does have over the influencer or just a fan in general, is access. So I think the least we can do is, from time to time, give fans more context and more access to the source. Fan involvement. Thank you, Brian in Forestville, 4632. Fan involvement. I'm a huge fan of that. Huge. 3677 before we go to a break. Carlos, love your show. Thank you. You're like the Russ Ortiz of KNBR. Like Kirk used to say, effectively wild. Little quirky, but gets the job done. You know what? I'll take it. I'll take it. Thank you. I think everyone's quirky. Everyone's got their own thing. Everyone. All right, quick break. When we come back, we were close to show with more Bears and 49ers preview. Last segment of the show before we hand it over to Greg. And is it Greg? Who's next, Danny?
No show next. We're going to a bowl game.
Ah, my bad. What game?
Let me confirm during the break.
All right. When we're right back.
Wherever you are around the globe, stream your faithful home of 49ers football 24/7, 365 on KNBR.com. This is the sports leader.
Well, Fitz, thanks for the question. He's playing at a really high level, I can tell you that. The hard thing with Brock is he's pretty much done that since he's been our starter here. He's played at a really high level. But I think all things considered, I'd say yes. I believe this streak we're on right now with efficiency, with playmaking, playing within the pocket, being able to extend and make plays down the field when he breaks the pocket. He's kind of got it all going on right now, and it's really fun to watch. So my answer would be yes, and that's a high standard because he's always been pretty good since he's become our starter.
That's part of what John Lynch told us a couple of minutes ago. The entire interview, Danny, will be on KNBR.com, right?
TheSportsLeader.com or the Sports Leader app.
All right. Let's do it again. The entire John Lynch interview. Where can you find it, Danny?
You can find it at thesportsleader.com or the Sports Leader app.
All right. That was a great 20-minute conversation with John Lynch. You can check it out. He spoke about George Kittle. Is Fred Warner available to come back? What does he think? Plus all your fan questions. This is the final segment of the show today. Before we head it over to what game, Danny did his homework, and he knows now the exact game we're tossing over when we're done. And that game is what, Danny?
All right, at 10 a.m., we will be throwing it to the Game Above Sports Bowl. That is Central Michigan against Northwestern.
The game of the what?
The Game Above Sports Bowl.
The Game Above Sports Bowl. All right.
Yeah, and are interested in what's on after that, by chance?
Yes, of course, always.
At around 1:30, we have the Rate Bowl.
Okay. All right.
And then after that, the First Responder Bowl.
Oh, phenomenal.
So, bowl,
great.
Bowl leader
bowl
here.
after bowl. The bowl leader, yes. The Christmas bowl leader today. All right. This segment, Danny, is called By the Numbers. By the Numbers. We are going to go through numbers, through different numbers that will tell the story of the Sunday matchup, 49ers against Bears. Number one, first number is 6. 6. That's how many fourth quarter comebacks the Bears have this season. 6. That's the most in the NFL. And no team in league history has won in a single season 6 games while trailing in the final 2 minutes until now. So the question becomes, are the 49ers built to finish games or just start them? Because we know the 49ers start like no one's business. They're effective. That first drive works beautifully, scripted by Kyle Shanahan, executed by Brock Purdy and company. But this Chicago Bears team, you cannot let them hover. You cannot let them hang around. You got to put them down early. Get a 2-possession lead at minimum and keep your distance. Because if not, if you give Caleb the football under 2 minutes with the possibility to win the game, he's done it 6 times. That's the first number. Second number, Danny, is 0. 0. That's how many punts the 49ers have had over the last 2 games. 0. Nada. Zilch. Zip. They've gone 21 straight drives without punting. 21. And no team in Super Bowl history has ever gone 3 games without a punt. A fact that John Lynch did not know. And now he does. So that tells us 2 things. 1, Brock is operating at a high level. And 2, Kyle Shanahan is dictating terms. Can Chicago's takeaway heavy defense force the 49ers off schedule for the first time in the month of December? We will find out. Third number is 31, Danny. 31. That is how many takeaways the Bears defense has this season. That's the most in the NFL. And they don't just intercept passes. Oh, no. They flip games. Kevin Byard, Pro Bowler for a reason. 6 interceptions tied for the league lead. This is the ultimate clash of styles. 49ers on one hand, efficiency, ball control, rhythm. Bears on the other side, chaos, turnovers, sudden swings. Whichever style wins Sunday will take the game. Number 4, 372. Want to guess what that number is, Danny? 372. What's that number?
Oof. Yards given up? Or yards scored per game?
That's Christian McCaffrey's offensive touches this season.
Oh, wow.
372. and 72. That's the most in the NFL this season. Not even close. He leads the 49ers in carries, rushing yards, receptions, receiving yards, and total touchdowns. He is the engine, the fulcrum, the stabilizer. He is the release valve, the alpha and the omega. The stat to watch isn't the yardage, it's the touches in the fourth quarter. If McCaffrey is touching the ball late, the 49ers should control this football game. 372, that's the amount of touches that he has. Fifth number, 23. Not Michael Jordan. That's how many times Caleb Williams has been sacked this season. Last year, 68. So the offensive line transformation is real for the Bears, which brings us to the biggest stat question of the night. Or the day, for Sunday night, I should say. Can the 49ers get to Caleb Williams without Bosa, without Warner, without Michael Williams? Can Collins and Davis and Okawano and Huff, can they huff and puff and get to Caleb Williams? Because if he's clean, he's dangerous. If he's rush, he's beatable. And the final one, the final number of this by the number segment here on the show is 1. Number 1, numero uno. The 1 seed, 1 stadium, 1 path to controlling your postseason destiny. That's what's at stake on Sunday. This game isn't about surviving. It's about thriving and seizing control. By the numbers, this is the biggest one of all. It's as even as dangerous as a matchup as an NFL can offer right now. It's the Bears and the 49ers on Sunday Night Football. Let's take a quick break here. When we come back, we'll wrap it up. We'll talk about the biggest thing, the 2 biggest things that will happen in our area next year in 2026. Quick break. When we come back, we wrap it all up and head over to the bowl leader.
Time for traffic on the Sports Leader. Listen to the sports leader anywhere, anytime. Download the all-new KNBR app. We are your proud home of 49ers football. KNBR 104.5 FM and 680 AM.
All right, final segment of the show before we head over to bowl season. Danny Dunn and Carlos Ramirez. Danny, let me ask you, do you have any World Cup hopes or curiosities or interest in next year here in the Bay Area?
I'm curious to see how packed it gets in the area. I am not huge on the FIFA World Cup. You have to pardon my ignorance on that.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. Do you have any idea what games will be played here at Levi Stadium?
I do not.
Well, here's the thing. The World Cup is a huge it'll be interesting because we will get the rare opportunity. It might never happen again. That the stadium that hosts the Super Bowl within the same place, the same city, the same stadium, within 4 months will host the Super Bowl and then FIFA World Cup games. The only thing missing would be the Olympics, which would be, it'll never happen because the Olympics and the World Cup never coincide, right? Olympics, Super Bowl, sure. Super Bowl, World Cup, ditto. But the fact that we get both is phenomenal because we will get to compare, not to see which one's better. I'm not into those kind of exercises, but just to see the magnitude of both. And I think it'll be really interesting to see the different vibes, to see the different fan bases. Let's face it, the Super Bowl is the biggest sporting event in America. However, and this is a very deep conversation we can have, I think the biggest sporting event in the world, even bigger than the Olympics, is the FIFA World Cup. The World Cup is, Jesus, it's humongous. The world stops, dead stops. Everyone's tuning into the World Cup. Everyone. Now, what games will we see here next year? Well, you got to be honest. Some are not all that enticing. We do have a couple that I think will pique everyone's interest. But here's the catch. I think we'll see massive fans, a lot of fans in the Bay Area that will give color and enthusiasm and expectation for those games. So June 13, Qatar and Switzerland will be here. That's the first game at Levi Stadium, where I'm at right now. Then June 16th, Austria and Jordan. Not Michael, the country. Austria and Jordan. June 19th, Paraguay, and their fan base always travels. So does the Swiss and the Austrian. Really good. Paraguay will face the team that comes out of the UEFA playoff winner C, which will be either Slovakia, Kosovo, Turkey, or Romania. I think it'll be Turkey. I think that game will be Paraguay and Turkey. Massive game. That's a really good one. Then June 22nd, Jordan and Algeria. And June 25th, Paraguay and Australia. So a lot of Paraguay, a lot of Jordan, Austria, Australia. And then the biggest one will be a round of 32, July 1st. The Group D winner, Group D, will face the group either B, E, F, G. So what is the Group D? What is the Group D? Well, thank you for asking. The 2026 FIFA World Cup Group D is U.S., Paraguay, Australia, or that path C winner, which I think will be Turkey. So if Team USA, Danny, wins their group, Team USA will be playing here in Santa Clara on July 1st. If Team USA wins their group, they will be here. And that, I think, will be the best way to compare, right, what the Super Bowl is or brought to the Bay Area versus what the World Cup with Team USA brings to Levi Stadium. We'll see what happens. And that's how we wrap up this show. Danny Dunn in control and production, Carlos Ramirez behind the mic. We leave you with college football bowl season right here on KNBR. Merry Christmas, everyone. We'll see you next. I'll be back here on Monday with Derek Papa. In the meantime, enjoy college football season right here on The Sports Leader.